And I always dreamed of being a tech finance person. So I did my undergraduate schoolwork here at BYU, married a beautiful girl from Utah, and dragged her back to California. And we spent the last 25 years in California working for various tech companies. I did my graduate work in California and got my MBA there, and immediately started to work at a company called 3Com. Does anyone remember 3Com? 3Com was a networking company. They compete with Cisco. And when I joined 3Com, it was roughly 1/5 the size of Cisco. When I left 3Com, we were 1/100th the size. So Cisco won. They beat us. I fought the giant of Cisco for a long time. But I left there and I went to a company called Brocade. And Brocade is a storage area networking company. So it creates all the infrastructure around data centers. And when I joined Brocade, I was super excited to not have to fight the giant of Cisco. Brocade owned about 75% market share in data storage networking, 80% gross margins. That sounds familiar to our business. And about 3 months after I joined Brocade, Cisco entered storage area networking. And the first thing everyone assumed is they were going to destroy us, just like they had done at my time at 3Com. But I was there for 11 years. When I started, we had about 65-70% market share. When I left after 11 years, we had 75% market share. So a much smaller company, but we were able to fight the big empire by being really, really smart around product innovation, understanding the needs of our customers, and meeting those needs much better than the big giant company Cisco could. Okay? So I went from there to a company called Polycom. Does anyone know Polycom? So if you go into any conference room around the world, you find the star-shaped phone in the middle of the room. That's Polycom. And another tech company. I was only there a short time before I got a job offer to go work for this little company called Amazon. Anybody heard of Amazon? Yes. Yeah. So Amazon, I worked for a really cool part of Amazon. The part I worked with is a group called Lab 126. Lab 126 invents all consumer electronic products for Amazon. So has anybody heard of the Amazon Echo? Yes. Yeah, so I worked on that project. The Kindle? Yes. The Kindle? So Lab 126 started as Kindle. So they were told by Jeff Bezos, hey, we're selling a lot of books, we're printing a lot of paper, go create a digital reader for us. And so Lab 126 was born by the team who went in a garage and figured out how to create a digital reading tool. And so that was the group I got to work with. So we created Kindle, Fire tablets, Fire TV, Alexa, Echo, all of those follow-on products are things that I got to work with. And again, high innovation. And I was the head of finance there. So we were based in California. Amazon is based in Seattle, Washington. And so I'd be up in Seattle about every 6 weeks. So how do I find myself working for a skincare company? After 20 plus years in tech finance. Well, a couple things. My wife would ask me all the time, are we ever going to move back to Utah? And my first response was, I'm a tech finance guy, what would I do in Utah? Little did I know that there's a big tech industry in Utah, but maybe what also I didn't know, and maybe you don't realize, is that Nu Skin is a technology company. We are, and we're becoming more and more and more of a technology company. In order for us to win, each one of you need to be digitally enabled. We have to make it so easy for you to pick up your phone and take care of all your business right here. And that requires tech skills, some of which we have, many of which we don't have or didn't have. So if you saw the earnings report, which we just did a couple weeks ago, we took a charge, an expense charge of roughly $50 million. And what that was us determining that our core legacy systems couldn't handle this technology transformation. And we determined that we need to go to the cloud and take all of the legacy systems and tools and servers that are housed here and around the world and take that technology up into the cloud. And so we chose the partner Amazon, AWS, to help us with that. What it does is, first of all, we don't have to buy infrastructure anymore. So I don't have to buy servers, I don't have to buy storage equipment, it's all up in the cloud. But more importantly, Amazon has thousands of tools already built. So think about when you buy something on Amazon, all that technology that Amazon has created in their systems is now accessible to us. We just have to figure out how to apply it to us, tie it into our systems and tools, and so that will happen over the course of 2019, and you'll start seeing us be able to leverage what AWS has built for our own internal systems much faster, more nimbly, and less expensive than we could create it on our own. So that's why we took the leap. We took a $50 million charge, wrote off all of our hard assets, and basically doing a little bit of a reset. So if someone asks you, you work for a technology company. That is the answer. We're a technology company that happens to have skincare products. And by the way, has anyone used a LumiSpa?
Yes.
Yeah, LumiSpa is a technology product. It's a consumer device, just like the consumer devices that I work on at Amazon and at Polycom. You have LumiSpa, ageLOC Me, Galvanic. These are technical devices created by the same manufacturers that make the iPad, the iPod, in the same factories, the same similar type of technology and construction. So I find myself at a skincare company, but it feels very much like every other technology company that I've ever worked for. The better part of being here is that I get to work with you, right? So has anybody heard anything what it's like to work at Amazon? Does anyone know? It's tough. It is not a friendly place. So Amazon is very customer focused and customer friendly, but it's not very employee friendly. It's a very challenging place to work. So I get to work on really cool projects, really cool technology, but I get to work with really cool people. And so for me, it's a much more fulfilling job. I'm always a finance guy. I'm always going to work at my spreadsheets and understand the financial models up and down. And I'm going to get excited about that because I'm weird that way and I like finance, right? But the other half of my brain now gets fulfilled because I get to work with people and see how their lives are improved by our company. And that's something that I've never had in my career and why I'm so excited to be here. And the last thing I'd say is, as a company, we have not focused a lot on product cost. We generate or have generated 80% gross margins for a long time. And when you're generating 80% gross margins, there's not many people who are really trying to make that 81 or 82 or 83. And I'm also not trying to make it 81, 82 or 83% gross margin. What I'm trying to do is take cost out of the product so that we can lower price or put it somewhere else in the P&L. You either increase commissions, like we added sharing bonus, so sharing bonus has to get funded someplace. Drive down cost, we can fund sharing bonus. Drive down cost, we can bring prices down a little bit. The price of LumiSpa, for example, being $175, I will tell you that 3 years ago, if we had introduced LumiSpa, it probably would have been priced around $300 because that's where we priced ageLOC Me, that's where we priced Galvanic. But the fact that we sell it at $175 with a $25 sharing bonus tells you that we're being more proactive in pricing products so that more and more people can touch and feel Nu Skin products. So I'm super excited about what we're able to do in 2018, we grew 18%, which means in 2019 we should grow how much?
36.
That's great, I like that thinking. That's perfect, we should double, right, every year. Yeah, we figure if we grew 18 and 18, we should grow 19 and 19, right? You know, that's not what I guided the street to. I told Wall Street we'd grow somewhere between 4 and 7%. I think absolutely we have to beat that number. I think we can beat that number.
What was the exact turnover then last year?
What was that?
The exact turnover?
The exact turnover? I don't know that I know that number. I don't think I have any idea. I can tell you that overall for the year, our sales leader numbers declined 10%. Most of that decline was due to a big ramp up in Q4 with the LumaSpa introduction in 17. From Q1 of 18 to Q4 of 18, our executives grew 16%. Okay, so a really good number throughout the year. It was artificially inflated in Q4 of 17 due to LumaSpa. So 16% sales exec growth and 16% customer growth last year and 18% revenue growth. So really good consistency. So I have a couple, if you want to ask some questions, I have a few minutes. Go ahead, Anton.
Last time you told, why did you decide to work for